Lick number 5, the final one, my favorite out of all of them. You know what? I think I said the last one was my favorite. This one's my favorite. It's 4 and 5 are my favorites, but this one's my favorite. I just played it and I'm like, no, this is my favorite. And this is utilizing, you know, string skipping. We have the whole string skipping section on here. And again, it's important to always remember, just because you learn something like this, that doesn't mean you have to play it that way. That just means like keep your eyes open for cool, you know, opportunities to skip strings, have those intervallic changes and all that stuff in there. So real slow, this one goes like this. Palm muting, string skipping, sliding, a little bit of like kind of like vibrato-y bending. It's all in here. It's all in here. And to me, that doesn't sound like a scale. It sounds like music. So what happens here is this is actually a little thing that I learned from John Mayer. This is where you pull influences from wherever you want, mix it into your own stuff. But what I'm doing here, and I'm keeping it in the scale, is I'm going to slide up to 14 on the A string, and I go to 12 on the G. So I'm skipping the D string completely. Okay, so I slide up to 14, go back to 14, and then I play 12, and I slide down to 11. Now what's important to note here on the picking side is I'm muting all of the low notes. So everything that's on the A, I'm muting it, and I'm not muting everything on the G. That way you have this real like bassy note and then a real bloom of an open note. Okay, so okay, and I go to 12 on the A, to 11 on the G. So now I went from that 11 on the G, back to 12, back to 11, and I slid down to 9. So then I go to 10 on the D, then 9 on the G. Now that's a root note, so that's a really strong note to end on. Okay? And what I do is I wanted to make that a theme. That string skipping thing was the theme here. And I kind of slide down lower in the scale. Now what's happening here is I'm going to play 7 on the D. It's almost the same shape, but just, you know, slightly tweaked. 7 on the A to 5 on the G. Okay, so I'm sliding up to the 7. Then I go back to the 5, 7, 5, slide down to 4. Then I go to 5 on the A. Okay, so okay, so there's a 4, then I go back to 5 on the A, then I go to 4, 5, 4. Okay, so sliding down to 2. So okay, 5 on the D. Wrong note. Now I go to 2 on the G. I play 2 again, and I hammer on the 4. And I play 5 on the D. So you have right there. So now after that 5, I slide all the way up to 9. And I kind of introduce a new thing here where I'm going to do this palm muted double picked. Just add a little more texture and layer to it. So I'm playing 5 on the D, and I pick that twice, and everything's palm muted, even the higher notes. Everything's palm muted here. I go to it was 9 on the G. This is how far apart those notes are. They're pretty far. Okay. Then I do another kind of wide change of notes here. I go down to 5 on the G. Okay. Then I go to 7 on the D. Here I'm walking straight down the scale, all on the D. I'm going to go 9 twice, 7, 5, back to 7 on the D, 7 on the low E string. That one is not muted. So all together, like I said, it is all about taking everything you learned, all the little tiny licks that you forgot that you even learned. But like I said, when you're coming up with your own stuff, you'll be like, oh yeah, what was that? What was that little Angus thing that I learned? What was that Brent Mason little pull-off lick that I learned? And you're like, oh, that would sound kind of cool here. You have this catalog. Now you tie it in with a scale, and you start creating all these things, and all of a sudden you're like, that's what I've been hearing. That's what's been in my head this whole time, was that I just needed the scale. That was all that I needed. I needed to know what notes to play. So there you guys have it. I hope you enjoyed these licks because they were fun for me to make, and it reminded me of certain things. I was like, oh yeah, like I forgot about this little thing I had learned a long time ago. So it was happening to me while I was doing it for the course. So hopefully you enjoyed that.